And so that really resonated, and I felt that deeply as the founder of the New York City Latina Writers Group. We've been together 13 years, and I created this group for Latinas to come together and feel like we can tell our stories without having to fucking translate it for anyone. So I appreciated that. And then Norma Candu, when she said that Gloria was a spiritual activist, I took that from me too. I'm a spiritual activist. I felt like finally I could name all of the things that I use, like this idea of intersectionality and having to pick and be for this community, for this white community, for literature, for publishing, that I can be all of these things and come as I am, as a lesbian, as a Dominican, as a girl, you know, who grew up in, was born in Brooklyn and raised in Queens and lived in the Bronx and all of that. And then when Cherie Moraga was up here, like, advocating and still fighting for Gloria's work, and she kept saying, recognize her, recognize her, recognize her, and how disciplined she was. And so I'm going to take that with me too today. Thank you. I'm reading section 22, Ni Sikwani, I, the singer. For the ancient Aztecs, Tijli, Tlapayi, la tinta negra y roja de sus códices, the black and red ink painted on códices were the colors symbolizing escritura y sabiduría, writing and wisdom. They believed that through metaphor and symbol, by means of poetry and truth, communication with the divine could be attained, and Toban, that which is above the gods and spirit world, could be bridged with Mictlan, that which is below the underworld and the region of the dead. Poet. She pours water from the mouth of the pump, lowers the handle, then lifts it, lowers, lifts. Her hands begin to feel the pull from the entrails, the live animal resisting. A sigh rises up from the depths. The handle becomes a wild thing in her hands, and the cold, sweet water gushes out, splashing her face, the shock of night light filling the bucket. An image is a bridge between evoked emotion and conscious knowledge. Words are the cables that hold up the bridge. Images are more direct, more immediate than words, and closer to the unconscious. Picture language precedes thinking in words. The metaphorical mind precedes analytical consciousness, the shamanic state. When I create stories in my head, that is, allow the voices and scenes to be projected in the inner screen of my mind, I trance. I used to think I was going crazy or that I was having hallucinations, but now I realize it is my job, my calling, to traffic in images. Some of these film-like narratives I write down, most are lost, forgotten. When I don't write the images down for several days or weeks or months, I get physically ill. Because writing invokes images from my unconscious, and because some of the images are residues of trauma, which I then have to reconstruct. I sometimes get sick when I do write. I can't stomach it, become nauseous or burn with fever, worsen. But in reconstructing the traumas behind the images, I make sense of them. And once they have meaning, they are changed, transformed. It is then that writing heals me, brings me great joy. To facilitate the movies with soundtracks, I need to be alone or in a sensory-deprived state. I plug up my ears with wax, put on my black cloth eye shades, lie horizontal and unmoving in a state between sleeping and waking, mind and body locked into my fantasy. I am held prisoner by it. My body is experiencing events. In the beginning, it is like being in a movie theater as pure spectator. Gradually, I become so engrossed with the activities, the conversations, that I become a participant in the drama. I have to struggle to disengage or escape from my animated story. I have to get some sleep so I can write tomorrow. Yet I am gripped by a story which won't let me go. Outside the frame, I am film director, screenwriter, camera operator. Inside the frame, I am the actors, male and female. I am desert, sand, mountain. I am dog, mosquito. I can sustain a 4 to 6 hour movie. Once I am up, I can sustain several shorts, or anywhere between 5 and 30 minutes. Usually, these narratives are the offspring of stories acted out in my head during periods of sensory deprivation. My awakened dreams are about shifts, thought shifts, reality shifts, gender shifts. One person metamorphoses into another in a world where people fly through the air, heal from mortal wounds. I am playing with myself. I am playing with the world's soul. I am the dialogue between myself and el espíritu del mundo. I change myself. I am the dialogue between myself and el espíritu del mundo. I change myself, I change the world. Sometimes I put the imagination to a more rare use. I choose words, images, and body sensations and animate them to impress them on my consciousness, thereby making changes in my belief system and reprogramming my consciousness. This involves looking my inner demons in the face, then deciding which I want in my psyche. Those I don't want, I starve. I feed them no words, no images, no feelings. I spend no time with them, share not my home with them. Neglected, they leave. This is harder to do than to merely generate stories. I can only sustain this activity for a few minutes. I write the myths in me, the myths I am, the myths I want to become. The word, the image, and the feeling have a palpable energy, a kind of power. Con imágenes domo mi miedo, cruzo los abismos que tengo por dentro, con palabras me hago piedra, pájaro, puente de serpientes, arrastrando a ras del suelo todo lo que soy, todo lo que algún día seré. Los que están mirando, leyendo, los que cuentan o refieren lo que leen, los que vuelven ruidosamente las bojas del códices, los que tienen en su poder la tinta negra y roja, la sabiduría y lo pintado, ellos nos llevan, nos guían, nos dicen el camino. Writing is essentials act. Tallo mi cuerpo como si estuviera lavando un trapo. Toco las saltadas venas de mis manos, mis chichis adormecidas como pájaras al anochecer. Estoy envolcada sobre la cama. Las imágenes aletean alrededor de mi cama como murciélagos, la sábana como que tuviese alas. El ruido de los trenes subterráneos en mi sentido como conchas. Parece que las paredes del cuarto se me arriman cada vez más cerquita. Picking out images from my soul's eye, fishing for the right words to recreate the images. Words are blades of grass pushing past the obstacles, sprouting on the page. The spirit of the words moving in the body is as concrete as flesh and as palpable. The hunger to create is as substantial as fingers and hand. I look at my fingers, see blooms growing there. From the fingers, my feathers, black and red ink, drips across the page. Knowing the smooth touch of paper, its speechlessness before I spill myself on the insides of trees. Daily, I battle the silence and the red. Daily, I take my throat in my hands and squeeze until the cries pour out. My larynx and soul soar from the constant struggle. Something to do with the dark. Quien canta sus males espanta, un dicho. The toad comes out of its hiding place inside the lobes of my brain. It's going to happen again. The ghost of the toad that betrayed me, I hold it in my hand. The toad is sipping the strength from my veins. It is sucking my pale heart. I am dried, serpent skin, Wind scuttling me across the hard ground, pieces of me scattered over the countryside. And there, in the dark, I meet the crippled spider, crawling in the gutter, the day-old newspaper fluttering in the dirty rainwater. Musa, bruja, venga, cúbrese con una sábana y espante mis demonios, que a repujones y a cachetadas me roban la pluma, me rompen el sueño. Musa, misericordia, óigame, musa, bruja, ¿por qué huye usted en mi cara? Su grito me desarrolla de mi caracola, me sacude el alma, vieja. Quítese de aquí con sus alas de navaja, ya no me despedace mi cara, vaya con sus pinche uñas que me desgarran de los ojos hasta los talones, váyase a la tiznada, que no me coman, le digo, que no me coman sus 9 dedos canibales, hija negra de la noche, carnala, ¿por qué me sacas las tripas? ¿Por qué caldas mis entrañas? Hilvanando palabras con tripas me está matando, hija de la noche, vete a la chingada. Writing produces anxiety. Looking inside myself and my experience, looking at my conflicts engenders anxiety in me. Being a writer feels very much like being a Chicana or being queer, a lot of squirming, coming up against all sorts of walls, or its opposite. Nothing defined or definite, a boundless floating state of limbo where I kick my heels, brood, percolate, hibernate, and wait for something to happen. Luz for Gloria's spirit, Iba Yeva Yatunu, Ache, thank you.